Back on TYT Sports, continuing our coverage of the NFL playoffs. The fourth and final game of divisional playoff round weekend took place between the Steelers and the Broncos.
My heart is still racing from this game. I was so fucking excited. I was like, can we play this game constantly? If they could have a continuous Broncos game, I would be all in.
Jared, do you like field goals? Do you like field goals?
Only if there's way too many.
Nothing to me like a kicking exhibition put on by Brad McManus. Had him on all my daily fantasy squads this year.
MVP
Is it not
McManus.
Brad, whatever. Brandon McManus. He goes 5 for 5. It really doesn't matter. Sorry, Mr.
B
McManus.
money. Forget it. It's the way it goes.
My apologies to you, Mr. McManus. You are the man with your leg. 5 for 5 with field goals. Tied for most. There was records set in this game, JR.
Hey,
Tied for most in postseason.
Don't disrespect this game.
I'm not. I'm not disrespecting the game at all. Why would I do that? By the way, parody this weekend. A great weekend for one Fitzgerald and a one bad fumble for another Fitzgerald. Larry Fitzgerald was wonderful all weekend, and it's truly deserving that he's in the NFC Championship game. Fitzgerald Toussaint, the third or fourth or possibly fifth string running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers, who played efficiently well.
Therefore, it's not his fault.
Finding holes, using some good cutbacks in this game and against the Bengals last weekend. Truly impressive to help with the run game.
Excuse me, they're called the Bungles?
The Bungles, I'm sorry. Or Bangling, as Jenk has coined.
Mm-hmm.
He had a 1-yard run. He had a touchdown. He found his way in the end zone. But if we go to the two images, it was hands down the play of the game, the Denver's defense, which is terrifying on all fronts, between Ware and Von Miller, your favorite with the pelvic thrust.
I was waiting for it the whole game.
Roby was here on the strip fumble for it, which was huge. It was a big turnover.
I'm actually disappointed in Von for not giving us the best celebration of the season after the end of the game when
he's saving it.
Yeah, when Ben tried to toss it back, it looked like a fumble. He picked it up and ran to the end zone. You know, the game was generally over, of course, but ended up being a turnover on downs. But he was in the end zone alone. I was like, we need it. We need it.
He needs a bigger stage. The AFC Championship game might not be enough for him to bust out the most notorious thrust from the pelvis ever seen. It might have to be the Super Bowl. Because you know, if he sacks Tom Brady, it's going to be going.
I'm going conspiracy, man. They told him to calm down. I bet you.
Conspiracy.
They told him, hey, Von, stop with the pelvic thrusting. Children are watching. It's uncomfortable.
If you put that into Deadspin's Roger Goodell suspension wheel, that's a 3-game suspension. As long as there's video with audio, that's a 3-game suspension. But so as for the game itself, McManus started off the action back-to-back field goals to make it 6-0. Then Toussaint's 1-yard run, folled by, wait for it, JR, a Chris Boswell field goal. He's not the only guy on the field with a leg. Am I right? Corey. 10-6 Pittsburgh. Brandon McManus with a 51-yarder. That's no gimme.
At this point, I was falling
Pittsburgh.
off the edge of my seat.
I figured. Did you turn? If you, JR said it during the Seahawks Panthers. If you left to get a sandwich during this game, you missed out on everything. But JR, are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Because the third quarter, the kicker war got even more exciting. Chris Boswell says, I see your 51-yard field goal. I'm going to chip in a 28-yard field goal.
Wow.
All of a sudden, 13-9. But Brandon McManus comes back and says, I see your 28-yard field goal. I'm going to show you how strong my leg is.
I can get within
41 yards.
Hey, it was amazing.
But the fourth quarter was exciting.
That's true.
I'll give him that.
Yeah.
If you bared through this game, did not turn on Top Gun, which was on AMC yesterday. Great movie. C.J. Anderson's 1-yard touchdown run. Peyton Manning passed to Denarius Thomas for the 2-point conversion. At least Peyton can get a ball from 2 feet out to a receiver for 2 yards, for 2 points. 20-13 Denver. Brandon McManus, another field goal. Chris Boswell, one more field goal. Chris Boswell, with 19 seconds left, pushes the spread. Chris Boswell, you are the true hero of the kickers. JR,
I have to admit two things. Although the fourth quarter, these are confessions time for me. Although the fourth quarter was exciting, I still also missed damn near all of it. And I've never seen Top Gun.
That's okay. That's okay. Top Gun's a great movie. I'm not going to get into it, mostly because it's so corny and there's so many great lines. And, Tom Cruise, great actor. Crazy as an individual. Mental. Absolutely mental.
By the way, there were some plays that Peyton Manning made. There were some plays that he did not make that he should have made. But there were some plays he made. When he dove on the ground, he looked a lot like Eli when he avoided the sack. But it's like, oh, somebody's going to touch me. And he dove on the ground, and he said, well, it's like he was lying there for 3 seconds, and he's like, I'm still alive.
Right. So a few observations. One, I love that Big Ben came out there on the first play and chucked it 55 yards downfield as like a threat. Obviously, it wasn't drawn up to score a touchdown. If it was, that's awesome. But it pretty much seemed like, no, I can play. As Bill Simmons tweeted out, numbed shoulder. Drug test Ben Roethlisberger immediately. Drug test him on the field. What are you taking? Which is fine.
Or was he faking an injury?
So that was the controversy. I was going to lead into that, but JR, you got me there.
Sorry.
Was he never injured? Does Pac-Man Jones an apology for Pac-Man Jones apologizing to Antonio Brown?
Oh, no. I mean, well, Vontaze Burfict he's not a large human being. He didn't actually slam down on Ben Roethlisberger's shoulder. I mean, I guarantee you if a human jumped on my shoulder that hard, it'd be okay. It'd be fine. No worries. He was faking it. That's why he sat out the rest of that game, or most of the rest of that game, to the last possession against the Bengals, and allowed a loser. I'm sorry, I don't want to talk about these guys like that. He's a professional. Allowed his professional backup to come in and clown a few drives. That's all. That's all part of the plan. Faking the injury because no reason. Why? Why would he do it? Why would he sit out like that? But he comes in and plays with half-broken legs and stuff. But he'll sit out and act like his shoulders hurt because he's preparing for the Broncos next week if they can not lose this game.
Bitterness.
Come on, man, it's ridiculous.
Bitterness.
Just think about your conspiracy theories.
Speaking of the bitterness, 2 tweets. Jared helped me out with the emoji on this one. First was Jeremy Hill, who has no right to be tweeting in happiness that the Steelers lost that game because you are the definition of bangling away that game. In addition to Vontaze Burfict and Adam Pac-Man Jones. He sent out the Kermit the Frog, sipping the T1, and Mohamed Sanu, mood, all heart, happy, facey emoji things.
I disagree.
I get it. I get it why you guys are happy, because the team that beat you, maybe in a ridiculous fashion, because you threw away the game, lost on a bigger stage than yours. You should be already hitting the training room, working on next season, practicing not bangling away games.
Well, I guess what happened was the mental bangling away the game. So they need to see counseling before they hit the weight room. It's like, weight room was fine. You know, the skill set is fine with the Bengals. The problem was their mindset. They need to clear out some whatever skeletons are in their closets that makes them flip out and do things like that. I don't want to talk about the Bengals.
You want to go back to the kicking challenge between Brandon McManus and why? It's Brandon McManus. It's Brandon McManus. Yes, it is. I know that. And Chris Boswell.
Money.
It's B-Mac.
Big Mac.
So, JR, the Broncos defense is obviously the biggest to know before we wrap this up.
Yeah.
We mentioned Miller. We mentioned Talib. We mentioned it was Roby on the strip fumble there for Fitzgerald.
And by the way, you know what? Fitzgerald Toussaint, he's going to be the GOAT in this. But that was a great play. He wasn't holding the ball like a loaf of bread, as they used to say. He wasn't sticking out, turning the corner, and just leaving it out there.
I get it. Great gamers will step up in those situations. I do not hold anything against Fitzgerald Toussaint, considering he stepped up in a situation with D'Angelo Williams and Le'Veon Bell down and out for the count during that game. I wanted the Steelers to win, but now we get the headline, another Brady versus Manning Bowl.
Honestly, I'm happier that it's another Brady Manning Bowl than it is a beat-up Steelers versus a Patriots game.
Well, because the Patriots, I think, would have routed. The Patriots would have routed the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
This game, I do think the Patriots win because they've been there. Unless the one key, which has happened before in the past, the Giants have done it. The Seahawks have done it in the first 3 quarters of the Super Bowl last year. Really, is you got to get Ware and you got to get Von Miller to pressure Brady, and you have to do that in under 2.5 seconds because he's gonna get the ball out by that point. And there's a chance for the Broncos to win because defensive-minded teams can beat the Patriots. They have, but you got to go with experience. I'm going to, of course, side with the Patriots on this one. You can't bet against them. It's a terrible idea always. But Brady versus Manning is at least one right last send-off for them. It's just not going to be Peyton Manning of the Colts throwing it downfield to Marvin Harrison versus Tom Brady throwing it downfield to Troy Brown. Now it's dink and dunk offense, as they call it for the Patriots, and Peyton Manning, whose accuracy is there, but I swear, I actually believe I can throw a ball harder than Peyton Manning can at this point.
Well, the thing, I think they're going to sub in Eli, since he looks a lot like Peyton, and have him throw a couple of Hail Marys down there against the Patriots. He's had some success with that before. So
Did you pick up a player like that? Did you see Steven Jackson playing for the Patriots? Maybe he's going to get...
Oh, that's right. The Patriots picked up that new rookie, Steven Jackson.
Don't forget about Steven Jackson.
Graduated from Oregon State in 1992. He's the oldest rookie. I haven't heard of this guy before.
He played for the Beavers?
Did he play for the? Yeah, he played for the Beavs, and he played for my Rams. He gave the best years of his life to my shitty team. So actually, I really appreciate Steven Jackson.
Comment below on just about everything you heard in this clip. This is the 4th of 4 divisional playoff game recaps that we've done.
This game was so exciting. We started talking about Jerome Bettis.
I know. Hey, man, next week's going to be more exciting when Brandon McManus goes 6 for 6 for field goals. Or maybe misses one. Who knows? Make sure to comment below. Check out in the description box and the interactive cards we have on the video to go to the other 3 recaps if you'd like to see them. We brought Taylor Jones on to recap the Saturday divisional playoff games. Like, favorite, subscribe, stick around. We're going to be doing the Super Bowl live here as always. Hashtag DrunkJenk. Hashtag maybe DrunkJR possibly. Hashtag definitely DrunkJason. Hashtag TYT Sports on Twitter. See you next time.